Hey everyone, and welcome back. We're diving deep today
Deep.
into a topic that's pretty mind-bending.
Yeah, it is.
The connection between biology, intelligence, and something I don't think we talk about enough, the umbilical cord.
We don't.
So,
Yeah, this little cord, it's a big deal, you know?
Yeah.
It really shapes who we are, and we found some incredible research that suggests
oh yeah,
it's way more than just a lifeline.
it's so much more than that. And we're going to be looking at the impact of nutrients,
Oh, yeah.
the influence of mom's experiences during pregnancy,
Absolutely.
even the role of light
Yes.
and melanin.
Melanin, too. And we're going to be diving into epigenetics
Oh, love it.
and how those environmental factors can actually, switch genes on or off.
Yeah, it's wild. And
It is.
we're even going to touch on some quantum biology.
We have to.
So get ready, because this is going to change the way you think about intelligence and human development.
It really is.
So first off, I think there's this misconception out there
Oh, yeah. A big one.
that genes are like the end-all, be-all of
yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah, genes, they definitely play a part,
Yeah.
but it's not the whole picture, right?
Okay, so are we saying that there's more to it than just getting like those smarty pants genes
Way more?
from your parents?
Absolutely.
Okay,
I think about it like genes are the blueprint,
okay.
but the environment and what you go through when you're developing,
Mm-hmm.
that's what brings the blueprint to life.
Right.
And the umbilical cord, right there in the middle of it all.
Okay, that makes sense, but where does that leave the umbilical cord? I mean, like, how does it actually, fit into this whole idea of intelligence being shaped by more than just genes?
Well, think about it. The umbilical cord is like the main delivery system.
Okay.
For all that good stuff the baby needs, especially the nutrients that build the brain.
So it's kind of like the brain's first
It is.
grocery delivery, getting all those ingredients to build a powerful brain.
It's a perfect way to put it, yeah.
I like it. I like it.
One of the key things that gets delivered through there is DHA.
Okay.
That's an omega-3 fatty acid.
Okay.
It literally builds brain cells. It's like bricks and mortar,
So if a baby doesn't get enough DHA
Oh, big problems.
during development, is that going to mess with their cognitive abilities?
Totally. There are all these studies that show that a DHA deficiency can mess with learning, memory, how well you think overall.
Wow. So
Mhm.
prenatal nutrition is a pretty big deal.
Absolutely.
It's not just about a healthy baby. It's about setting them up
Yes.
for
Yeah,
success.
it's their whole life, yeah.
For their whole life.
It really is, but here's the thing.
Okay.
It gets even wilder.
Okay, lay it on me.
We're learning that a mother's experiences when she's pregnant, her environment, even her stress levels can
Yeah.
change how the baby develops.
Hold on. Are we saying that what a mother goes through can actually change how smart her baby is?
We are.
Okay, how's that even possible?
Epigenetics, baby. It's how things in the environment can actually flip those genes on or off. And that changes how they work.
Okay.
It doesn't actually change the DNA itself,
Right.
but it changes how those genes are used.
So it's like having a light switch for each gene.
It is.
The gene is there, but something else decides if it's on or off.
That's a great way to put it. And this is where what mom goes through really matters.
Okay.
So picture this. Mom is super stressed during pregnancy.
Uh-huh.
Her body is pumping out all these stress hormones.
Right.
And guess what? Those hormones can cross right over the placenta.
No way.
Oh, yeah, right to the baby.
Wow.
And that can change how the baby's genes work.
Wow.
So you can imagine it might affect how they handle stress later on in life.
Wow. So even before we're born, our potential is being shaped by the world around us
Yes.
through this crazy interaction between our genes and environment.
It's wild.
It is wild. It's incredible.
Yeah, it shows just how important it is to create a supportive and nurturing environment for moms and their babies.
Yeah, absolutely. Okay, so we've got genes, nutrients, and mom's experiences all playing a role
Uh-huh.
in shaping intelligence.
Yeah.
What else could there possibly be?
Well, now we get to the really cool stuff.
Okay, hit me.
Light.
Light. I thought that was just for seeing. What does light have to do with intelligence?
Way more than we thought. Way more.
Okay.
Even though a baby is in the womb, they're still affected by light, mainly through the mother's hormones.
Oh, okay.
Remember melatonin?
Yeah, the sleep hormone.
Yes. Helps regulate our sleep-wake cycle.
Yeah, if I'm on my phone before bed, that blue light messes with my sleep.
It does, and it all comes down to light exposure.
Okay.
So are we saying that how much light a mom gets during pregnancy can change her baby's sleep patterns? We are, but it's even more than that.
Okay.
The mom's exposure to light changes her melatonin levels, which can then impact the baby's circadian rhythm.
Okay.
That's the body's internal clock.
Right.
It regulates everything.
Yeah.
Sleep, hormones, body temperature.
Wow. So even in the womb, our bodies are syncing up with the day and night, thanks to mom.
It's amazing.
That's wild.
It is, and there's evidence that light during pregnancy might even play a part in how the brain itself develops.
Really?
Yeah, we know there are light-sensitive proteins in the body, even in the brain.
Uh-huh.
These proteins might be part of how the brain develops, even in the womb.
That's crazy. Light, hormones, brain development. I never
It's all connected.
knew they were all connected.
Totally. Fascinating connections.
Yeah.
Now, what if I told you there's a link between melanin, the pigment that gives our skin its color,
Okay.
and brain power?
Melanin in the brain. Never would have guessed that.
Yeah.
Okay, tell me more.
Melanin isn't just in our skin.
Right.
It's in our brains, too, in places like the substantia nigra. That part is involved in movement and even some thinking skills.
Oh, it colors us and makes us smart.
It might.
That's wild.
It's a possibility researchers are looking into. Some think that melanin might have electromagnetic properties, meaning it can interact with light and maybe even process information at the quantum level.
Right. Okay.
And here's something really interesting. Some of the smartest animals in the world, primates, dolphins, elephants, they've got tons of melanin in their brains.
Wow. Makes you think.
It does. It really does.
Okay, so we've gone from the umbilical cord delivering nutrients to mom's experiences shaping gene expression to light playing a role. Now, melanin might impact brain power. I'm trying to keep up.
It's a lot, and we're just getting started.
Okay, I'm ready.
What if the umbilical cord is more than just a nutrition pipeline?
Okay.
What if it also carries information, maybe even light energy, that shapes the baby's brain and intelligence?
Wait, are we saying the umbilical cord transmits, like, knowledge?
It's a really interesting theory. We need to do more research.
Okay.
But think about quantum entanglement. Two particles can be linked, no matter how far apart.
Right.
Maybe something similar is happening between mom and baby.
That's incredible.
Yeah.
So my development, my potential was shaped by my mom in ways I can't even imagine.
It's a wild thought, isn't it?
It is. So much for thinking we're just products of our genes.
Right.
This is blowing my mind.
And there's one more piece to this.
Okay, I'm ready.
DHA, mitochondria, and melanin all working together.
Are we bringing it all together now?
We are.
Come on, ready.
Remember, DHA is that omega-3 that's so good for the brain.
Uh-huh.
Mitochondria are the powerhouses of the cells. They provide the energy for everything we do.
Right.
Well, DHA supports those mitochondria,
Oh, cool.
which means more energy for the brain.
Okay.
Meanwhile, melanin protects both the neurons and those mitochondria from damage.
So DHA fuels the brain, mitochondria power it up, and melanin shields it all from harm.
Exactly. It's all about synergy. The brain can function at its best.
Wow.
Supported by energy, protection, and good communication.
This is amazing. Makes you realize how intricate it all is.
Absolutely. And that's why taking care of your own brain health through nutrition and a healthy lifestyle is so important.
Absolutely. I'm with you on that. It's not just about being smart.
No.
It's the foundation of who we are.
It is.
Okay, so much to think about.
There is.
My brain is buzzing.
Mine too.
Okay, let's shift gears a bit
Okay.
and talk about how the nervous system evolved.
Okay, sounds good.
You know, we've been talking about humans, but understanding how nervous systems even got started can help us understand ourselves better.
It can.
So where do we start?
Yeah.
Like single-celled organisms.
You know, single-celled organisms never actually had a nervous system.
Really?
They didn't need one.
Okay.
Because everything happened within that one cell. They could react to their environment directly.
Okay.
Simple, no need for complex communication.
Okay, so how did things change? When did a nervous system become a must-have?
Well, as organisms evolved, things got a lot more complicated.
Makes sense.
Multicellular organisms, you know, they had different cells
Okay.
doing different things.
Right.
Suddenly, you need a way to make all that work together, to make sense of information
Yeah.
and respond to the environment as a whole.
So it's like going from a solo act to a full band.
It is.
You need a conductor.
Exactly. You need a conductor, and that's what the nervous system became.
Okay.
Transmitting signals between different parts of the organism,
Wow.
keeping everything in sync.
Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So what did these early nervous systems look like?
Well, the first ones were probably simple nerve nets.
Nerve
Yeah,
nets.
picture a mesh network
Yep.
of interconnected nerve cells.
Okay.
You see this in creatures like jellyfish, no central brain, but they can still react to things.
Interesting. So it's like a decentralized system.
Yeah.
When did a central nervous system, a brain, come into the picture?
As things got more complex, so did the nervous system.
Right.
Flatworms, they have a primitive brain
Okay.
and nerve cords running along their bodies.
Okay.
This allows for more complex processing.
So the evolution of a brain is all about processing power, handling more information.
That's a big part of it.
Okay.
Bilateral symmetry also played a role. That's having two mirrored sides.
Right.
It allowed for a central brain where information could be processed in a more sophisticated way.
So more cells, more nerves, more
Yeah.
complex responses.
Exactly.
This makes me appreciate just how incredible our own brains are.
Yeah, they are pretty amazing.
They are.
As nervous systems evolved, they got better at integrating sensory input, coordinating behavior, and adapting to the environment.
Oh.
This led to learning and the ability to store knowledge.
So this brings us back to the umbilical cord and the mother's experiences.
It does.
The nervous system is designed to communicate and act,
Yes.
but it also seems to inherit a framework for how to do that, even before birth.
It's this fascinating mix of genetics, development, and early experience
It really is.
that shapes how we interact with the world.
Okay, so let's get back to this idea that knowledge or experience could be transferred through the umbilical cord. I know we talked about nutrients and hormonal signals earlier. How does light fit into all of this?
You mentioned light being crucial for mammals,
Uh-huh.
and you're wondering if it could be transferred through the umbilical cord,
Yeah.
maybe shaping the baby's brain.
Right, we talked about how light affects melatonin even in the womb,
It does?
and there are those light-sensitive proteins in the body.
There are.
Could those play a role in how the brain develops? And could the umbilical cord be involved somehow?
Well, while the umbilical cord doesn't directly carry nerve impulses or transmit light like you're thinking,
Okay.
light does have indirect effects on the fetus.
Okay.
We know the mom's exposure to light affects her hormone cycles, including melatonin.
Right.
These hormone changes can impact the baby's developing circadian rhythms, setting their internal clock before birth.
So light is influencing development through hormones which travel through the umbilical cord?
Exactly.
Okay, that makes sense.
And those light-sensitive proteins, they're definitely there throughout the body, including the brain. They play all sorts of roles in our biology, and they probably contribute to brain development, even in the womb. But we're still figuring out exactly how.
So lots to uncover there, but it seems like light does play a part, even indirectly, in shaping the baby's brain.
Yeah,
This is complex.
it is.
Okay, what about nerves in the umbilical cord?
So the umbilical cord itself doesn't have nerves that send electrical signals like you're thinking,
Right.
but it does have blood vessels.
Okay.
And those transport hormones, nutrients, and other molecules that can influence the baby's developing nervous system.
Oh, interesting. So it's not sending nerve impulses directly, but it's helping the mom and baby communicate
It is.
through these chemical signals.
Yeah, like a different language.
Yeah, chemical language.
Exactly. And don't forget the vagus nerve.
Okay.
It connects the brain to the gut,
Uh-huh.
and the gut is developing during pregnancy too, getting signals from the mom through the placenta. And eventually, the food the baby eats will also affect brain development.
Wow.
So even though the umbilical cord doesn't connect directly to the nervous system,
Right.
it's part of a system that supports the baby's overall development,
Wow.
including the brain.
So it's all interconnected.
It is.
The umbilical cord, hormones, the gut, the brain.
All working together.
Wow.
Now, let's get back to melanin and intelligence.
Okay.
You were suggesting that melanin might be a primary factor,
Uh-huh.
and you even linked it to the umbilical cord. Pretty bold ideas.
I know.
It's exciting, though.
It is. Think about it. All those super smart animals,
Yeah.
primates, dolphins,
Uh-huh.
they all have high levels of melanin in their brains.
They do.
And if the umbilical cord is transferring more than just nutrients,
Yeah.
could it be transferring something related to melanin too?
Okay, let's explore that.
Okay.
You're suggesting that melanin, besides giving us our color, might also be a key player in how well we think.
Yes. It's like melanin is a conductor for information in the brain.
A conductor, I like that.
Yeah.
Helping with all those complex processes that make us intelligent.
Exactly. And you're linking this to light.
Well, because melanin interacts with light, absorbing it and converting it.
Yes.
Yeah.
Light seems like this fundamental energy source.
Okay.
And maybe melanin helps the brain use that energy for thinking.
Okay. Interesting.
So then bringing in the umbilical cord,
Uh-huh.
maybe it's transferring something related to melanin, something that affects the baby's melanin levels
Okay.
or how melanin works in their brain.
I see where you're going with this.
It's like everything about the mother, her experiences, her environment, even how much light she gets,
Yeah.
could be encoded somehow and passed to the baby through the umbilical cord,
Interesting.
influencing not just their physical development, but also their potential for intelligence.
So you're suggesting that the mother's experiences, her environment, could be shaping the baby's brain
Exactly.
in ways that go beyond just genes?
Yes. It's like nature and nurture, but with this added layer of energy
Energy.
or information transfer. Like the mom's experiences are shaping the baby's brain on a fundamental level.
And you're connecting this to melanin because of how it interacts with light.
Uh-huh.
If melanin is involved in the brain's ability to interact with light
Right.
or electromagnetic fields, then maybe it could also be involved in receiving or processing this experiential information
Yeah.
that you're proposing.
That's being transmitted through the umbilical cord.
Fascinating.
Right, like the umbilical cord is delivering not just the building blocks for the brain, but also a blueprint for how to use them.
A blueprint, yeah.
A blueprint shaped by the mother's experiences.
That's a powerful image. It really challenges our traditional view of intelligence being determined by genes.
I know.
Opens up a whole new world of possibilities.
It does. It really does. It's like we're only just starting to understand how intelligence works and how connected we are to our mothers.
We are.
It makes me think about my own childhood, my own development.
Makes sense. It's a natural thought. If the mother's experiences can shape the baby's potential so much, it makes you wonder about the impact of the environment, of nurturing, of all those early interactions.
Absolutely. So what are your thoughts on all of this? I know it's a lot to take in,
It is.
and a lot of it's still theoretical.
It is a lot. It's an audacious theory, but it's based on some interesting scientific concepts.
Okay.
It makes us ask some really important questions about intelligence
Yeah.
and how our experiences shape us.
Okay, so let's break it down.
Okay.
Melanin. Its possible role in cognitive function, its interaction with light,
Uh-huh.
and this idea that the umbilical cord might be transferring something related to melanin from mother to baby.
Yeah.
Is there any scientific evidence to support any of this?
So there's no direct evidence that the umbilical cord is transferring melanin or information about melanin.
Okay, yeah.
We definitely need more research on that.
Right.
But there are separate pieces of evidence
Yeah.
that when you put them together,
Uh-huh.
make this theory really interesting.
Like,
Well, for example, we know melanin is in the brain,
right, yes.
especially in areas that control movement, mood, and how we think.
Okay.
We also know it's an antioxidant,
Uh-huh.
protecting cells from damage.
Right.
And we're learning more about how it interacts with light and electromagnetic fields.
Yeah.
But that's still a new area of research.
Right, and we talked about how light exposure can affect melanin production in the skin
It can.
and how that exposure affects hormones.
Yes.
Which can then impact the baby.
Exactly. So while the connection between the umbilical cord and melanin is still speculation,
Right.
the individual pieces of evidence are very intriguing.
Uh-huh.
Your theory is basically connecting those dots in a new and exciting way.
I like that.
It's like a puzzle
Yeah.
where we have some pieces,
Uh-huh.
but we're still figuring out how they all fit together.
So it's not that the theory is wrong.
Not at all.
We just need more pieces to complete the puzzle.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And this theory shows just how much we don't know about the brain, about intelligence, and about the amazing connection between mother and child.
This has been an incredible deep dive.
It has.
We've covered so much.
Yeah.
From DHA and mitochondria to the evolution of the nervous system
Yeah.
to this mind-blowing connection
Ah.
between melanin and the umbilical cord.
Mind-blowing is right.
My brain is doing backflips trying to keep up.
It's a lot to process.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Like it's a lot, but in a good way.
Yeah.
Like my brain just got a major upgrade.
It's so cool to think about, right?
It is.
It really pushes us to think outside the box.
Okay, so to recap,
Yeah.
intelligence isn't just about genes.
It's not.
It's this whole mix of genetics, environment, and experiences.
Absolutely.
And the umbilical cord, it plays a huge part,
It does.
delivering, the nutrients, the hormones,
Yeah.
and maybe even like these subtle forms of information
Yeah, it could be.
that shape how the brain develops.
It's like we're starting to understand that intelligence isn't something you just inherit. It's nurtured and shaped by the environment even before birth.
Exactly. And
Mhm.
speaking of nurturing,
Yeah.
we can't forget about those essential nutrients like DHA
Oh, it's so important.
and mitochondria, keeping those brain processes powered up.
powerhouses, right?
Yeah.
And of course, melanin.
Melanin.
Maybe protecting the brain and even
Yeah.
helping with communication and information processing.
This whole idea of the mother's experiences
Yeah.
actually like shaping the baby's brain
I know.
is mind-blowing.
It's incredible.
It makes you realize how connected we are.
Yeah.
How much our potential is shaped by what's around us, even before we're born.
Absolutely. It makes you think about intelligence in a more holistic way.
Yeah.
It's not just about the individual, it's about the mother, the environment, the connection.
Okay, so where do we go from here? What do we do with this knowledge?
That's the big question, right?
Yeah, like
Yeah.
how can we apply this to our own lives?
Well, for one thing, we can really appreciate how important prenatal care is. You know, a healthy pregnancy, good nutrition, a supportive environment, that can make a world of difference.
Yeah.
But even beyond pregnancy, we can all do things to support our own brain health.
Okay, like what?
Nutrition is key.
Mm-hmm.
Getting those omega-3s like DHA,
It's okay.
antioxidants, and all the other good stuff the brain needs.
So eat your veggies, got it.
Exactly.
What else?
Don't forget about sunlight.
Oh, interesting.
Safe, moderate exposure, it boosts vitamin D levels,
Okay.
which is good for the brain.
Yeah.
And it might even play a role in melanin production.
So soaking up some sun could be good for more than just our mood.
Absolutely. And of course, exercise.
Oh, exercise is good for everything.
Is.
Gets the blood pumping, delivers oxygen to the brain.
Yeah, stimulates all those feel-good chemicals.
Right. I always feel more energized and focused after a workout.
And let's not forget about stress.
Oh, stress is the worst.
Chronic stress can really mess with your brain.
Yeah.
So finding healthy ways to cope, whether it's meditation, yoga, spending time in nature,
Yeah.
that's crucial.
All great advice.
Ah.
This has been such an amazing journey.
It has.
I feel like I have a whole new understanding of intelligence. The power of the mother-child connection
It's incredible.
and the potential we all have.
It's been great exploring these ideas with you.
Yeah, this has been awesome.
And remember, this is just the start.
Right.
There's so much more to discover, so keep asking questions, keep learning, keep pushing those boundaries.
Well said. And to our listeners, we hope this has sparked your curiosity,
I hope so.
inspired you to keep exploring these amazing topics.
Yes.
Keep researching, keep questioning, keep those brains buzzing.
Yes, keep them buzzing.
Until next time, happy exploring. That was intense.
It was a lot, wasn't it?
Yeah, we went from the basics of DHA and mitochondria
Yeah,
to the evolution of the nervous system
right.
and this incredible connection between melanin and intelligence.
Yeah.
It's a lot to wrap your head around.
It really is, but I think the biggest thing to remember is that intelligence is so much more than just your IQ.
Absolutely.
It's this mix of genetics, environment, and experiences, and the mother's role.
Yeah,
It's so much bigger than we ever thought.
I completely agree. We talked about how mom's experiences, even how much light she gets, can affect the baby's brain.
Yeah, it can.
It makes you wonder about all the ways our mothers shaped us without us even realizing.
It really does. It's humbling to think about, isn't it?
Yeah.
We think we're these self-made individuals,
Right.
but we're really products of this long chain of events, starting with our moms
Yeah.
and the environment they provided for us even before we were born.
So knowing all this, what can we do to help our brains and maybe even make ourselves smarter?
Well, we've talked about some key things already.
Yeah.
Nutrition,
Uh-huh.
getting enough DHA, antioxidants, all that good stuff.
Right. And sunlight
Sunlight's important.
for vitamin D
Yeah, vitamin D, and maybe even for melanin.
and exercise is like brain fuel.
It is. Gets the blood flowing, releases all those good chemicals.
Exactly.
And stress management.
Oh, stress is a killer.
It really can be. Chronic stress is no good for your brain.
No.
Finding healthy ways to cope is so important.
So it's like a whole body, whole mind approach,
Is
taking care of ourselves to create the best environment for our brains.
Exactly.
And never stop learning. Wow.
Never. Keep your brain engaged. Challenge yourself. Be curious.
It's amazing to think about all the potential we have.
It really is. And it's always there throughout our lives.
This deep dive has been incredible.
Yes.
I have a whole new appreciation for how complex intelligence is.
It's fascinating, isn't it?
Yeah.
And how powerful that mother-child connection is.
It really is. Any final thoughts you want to leave our listeners with?
Embrace the mystery.
Ooh, I like that.
We're just starting to understand the brain.
Yeah.
There are so many questions left to answer.
Sure.
Don't be afraid to ask those questions, challenge the way things are, explore new ideas.
Beautifully said. And to our listeners, we hope this deep dive has opened your eyes to the world of biology, intelligence and that incredible bond between mother and child.
I hope so.
Keep those minds curious.
Yeah.
And remember, there's always more to discover.